Parents can be so cruel sometimes. Mine told me they found me buried in the snow and brought me home because they felt sorry for me. And when I was about 10 years old, my dad convinced me that I would be invisible if I sat quietly on the living room floor. He caused me to lose an epic game of hide and seek to my 5-year-old sister. Despite my parents tricking me into thinking I was both an adopted Snow White with Harry Potter's cloak of invisibility, I think it turned out pretty good. Mostly because I grew up with a lot of love. So much love, in fact, that I was actually pretty sheltered from all the bad in the world. Remember Marlin, the father from Finding Nemo? Yeah, Marlin was my parents. So it came as quite a shock when I ventured out into the real world and discovered the harsh realities women and girls go through. That's when I found out that 1 in 3 women experience abuse in their lifetime. Here I was, living my boringly normal life with my concerns of trying to be at school on time, finding out the latest fashion trends, and of course, deciding what I was going to eat next. This realization became all too real one day when a close friend became part of that statistic. It took me a bit to shake what she had said, but over time, I got so caught up in my own little bubble that I actually forgot about her. Fast forward to 2017, the worst year of my life. That year ripped me to shreds like a lion attacking his dinner. I was forced to break apart every little part of me and figure out who I wanted to be. That year, the hashtag #MeToo campaign took off along with hashtag #StopRapeCulture, which put me back into the moment my friend confided in me about her experience. I had neglected her and I felt so horrible. I had spent endless days moping around about my shitty year and the fact that I had let down someone I truly cared about. I was starting to hate that I wasn't part of a solution to somehow help these women. All women, really. I didn't know it at the time, but I was subconsciously waiting for the universe to provide me with a purpose. One morning, as I laid in bed, avoiding all adult responsibilities, I was scrolling through my feed when I came across a photo of Aisha, so I clicked on her name. As I was carefully creeping her profile, it hit me. It was like the universe had suddenly slid into my DMs with the cheesy pickup line. The path to my purpose. Unable to deny the force of the universe, I texted Aisha. I thought I would volunteer for an event or two, but she had other plans. That one text turned into a 2-hour lecture from Aisha about sisterhood and bringing the community together. While she blabbered on, I kind of debated hanging up and turning off my phone. I don't know what she had said, but suddenly, something inside me lit up. Fast forward 2 months later to an event called the Ringleaders Panel. It was the first time in my life that I was in a room full of Muslim men and women where I didn't need to alter my personality to avoid being judged. Fast forward again to meetings with new members and VMW's open mic night. At this event, I knew I had made the right choice. Listening to people talk about how VMW is what they've been searching for sold me. So, here I am, a product of my parents with a twist. I went from being a sheltered, gullible child to becoming a woman who knows what she wants her life to be and isn't afraid to make things happen. My life is still filled with love, but now it's not only from my family. Now, it's also the love I found within our little VMW family. These beautiful women have made my heart grow, like the Grinch when he realizes the true meaning of Christmas. I have yet to figure out who I am or what kind of person I want to be, but I can say with confidence that who I am now is definitely better than who I used to be.
My story is about courage. It is about choosing love above all else. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Within every emotional being breeds a lineage of social and cultural history, rooted in the comforts of memory, informing our choices and casting a shadow over our beliefs. 25 years ago, I had an opportunity to marry within my culture. My mind said this was the right thing to do. So I said yes. However, every cell in my body screamed no. The truth was, I was in love with a Canadian man. I had not had the courage to tell them till this point. I felt the pangs of an entire tribe echoing with disapproval. There was confusion within my own mind. I struggled with not wanting to disappoint my father, and at the same time gravitating towards a relationship anchored on love and respect. Choosing to be with Arnie necessitated expanding on a traditional system of values. Arnie was Christian and I Muslim. He was 59 years when I was 30. This began my journey to make sense of the things that define me. I felt seen and heard by a man who throughout our life together encouraged me to evolve and become more of who I am. He embraced the challenges involved in loving a younger woman with many cultural dynamics at play. September 5th, 2012. My best friend, my true love, my anchor, passed away. You have embraced me with your heart's eye. I bow in humility to the grace you have awakened within me. In surrender has been my liberation.
Tant que les lions n'auront pas leur propre conteur, les histoires de chasse seront à la gloire du chasseur. Je suis née dans cette famille où dignité et excellence étaient la norme. Élevée sans distinction de genre, merci papa, merci maman, parmi 5 frères et sœurs, j'étais une enfant curieuse de tout. Petite fille, je voulais devenir scientifique et apporter de nouvelles technologies au monde. Adolescente, je lisais aussi bien des encyclopédies que des romans à l'eau de rose. Mon modèle, ma mère, une femme digne et brillante qui illumine tout sur son passage. À ses côtés, rien ne me paraissait inaccessible parce que femme ou noire. À 18 ans, je pars pour la première fois loin des miens. Destination, le Maroc. J'y suis accueillie avec beaucoup de générosité et de curiosité, mais pas que. L'ignorance. Tant de personnes s'attendaient à ce que je sois une rescapée de la jungle, une croyante au Dieu tonnerre, une amie des éléphants avec qui j'aurais grandi. Incompréhension totale pour moi. Le racisme. À chaque jour, son lot d'incidents qu'on finit par banaliser. Mais je n'oublierai jamais ce jour où, en rentrant de l'école, un groupe d'adolescents tout excités s'est rué vers moi et sur une trentaine de mètres m'a crié sans arrêt. Négresse, singe, sauvage. Autour, des adultes qui regardent parfois amusés. J'arrive à la maison, m'effondre en larmes et pleure des heures. Pourquoi tant de haine ? Moi, la digne et fière Fadima qui ne s'est jamais vue illégitime parce que femme ou noire, comment peuvent-ils une seule seconde me croire inférieure ? J'y ai vu beaucoup de méchanceté, mais beaucoup d'ignorance aussi. Je n'avais alors que 18 ans, mais me suis juré que ma contribution à notre monde sera de faire connaître The Untold African Stories. J'ai travaillé dur à l'école pour être toujours parmi les meilleurs et montrer que la noire que je suis en était capable. J'ai parlé de mon Afrique, non pas de celle de National Geographic, mais celle que je connais, celle que j'ai vécue à qui veut l'entendre. J'ai éduqué et changé des perspectives de beaucoup de personnes. Combien de fois ai-je entendu « Fadima, je réalise combien j'étais ignorante de l'Afrique avant de te connaître. Fadima, avant de te connaître, je pensais qu'en Afrique, les gens vivaient avec les animaux sauvages ou croyaient au Dieu soleil. » Le sentiment du travail accompli dépassait ma surprise d'entendre de tels propos. Après le Maroc, arrive l'Europe. J'y vais pour poursuivre mes études. Je tombe amoureuse d'un Français qui deviendra mon mari et finis par m'y installer. Je travaille pour les plus grandes sociétés dans mon domaine. On est au milieu des années 2000. La technologie a fait un bond avec les smartphones, les réseaux sociaux. Mais la perception générale de mon cher continent n'a fait qu'un petit pas. Marquée à jamais par mon expérience marocaine, percevant toujours la surprise de mes interlocuteurs de voir l'Africaine que je suis si bien éduquée, les questions reviennent. Pourquoi de tout ce qui se passe en Afrique ne retient-on que les drames alors que des milliers d'autres choses s'y passent ? Pourquoi ne retient-on que les tragédies au point de croire que le quotidien n'y est fait que de famine, de guerre et de maladies, au point de s'entendre dire que l'homme africain n'est pas assez rentré dans l'histoire ? Où sont passés l'héritage de l'Empire mandingue, les faits de guerre des guerriers zoulous, l'héroïsme de la reine Zinga ? Qui connaît ces courageuses marchandes qui travaillent plus de 10 heures par jour et économisent chaque sou pour étendre leur business ? Ces enfants ingénieux bricolant leurs propres jouets ? Ces jeunes entrepreneurs à succès qui font bouger des lignes ? Oui, un célèbre proverbe africain dit « Tant que les lions n'auront pas leur propre conteur, les histoires de chasse seront à la gloire du chasseur. » Aujourd'hui, las de toute cette mauvaise représentation, j'ai décidé d'être le conteur des lions. J'ai décidé de raconter leurs histoires, de raconter mon histoire. Aujourd'hui, je pave mon chemin. Je travaille dans une société de production de documentaires où j'apprends comment on passe de l'idée à l'écran. Je fais de la figuration pour comprendre backstage d'un plateau de tournage. Je suis des cours. Je vais obtenir mon certificat de digital storytelling. Aujourd'hui, je veux aller au-delà de mon entourage, porter mon message plus haut, plus fort, plus loin, éveiller à plus grande échelle à la diversité du quotidien africain, à la multitude d'histoires africaines, au danger du single story. À 18 ans, j'ai fait un vœu et aujourd'hui, je le réalise.
I always adored the still image of a woman. As a young girl, my fingertips would excitedly turn the pages of Vogue, absorbing the angles, lighting, and mood of each shot. I would sit for hours with my father looking at portraits of Hollywood stars. It was my happy place. Deep in my stomach and my imagination, I knew that I could take those photos too. But also deep inside me lived the shy girl from the small working class town where everything seemed out of reach. I would live in denial of this by withdrawing into my own world of theatre, books, horses and photos. I would take my camera with me everywhere and imagine that one day everybody would see my work. I built a darkroom in a bedroom and created a portfolio good enough to win a scholarship to a prestigious film school in London. I made documentaries that went to European film festivals and had my sights set on becoming an accomplished filmmaker and photographer. And then I met my husband. My trip to Egypt and meeting my husband changed my life. I dropped everything and moved there. From small town England to big city Cairo, I felt excited and curious and eager to fit in and be loved. My passions for photography and filmmaking were put aside for my passion to be a partner and a wife. My new life across the world was all consuming and exciting. Slowly but surely, I forgot about why I went there in the first place, to make films. I became obsessed with my relationship and my wedding plans. And then the roof caved in. 3 months before the big day, my mother died, and I plunged into despair, but the outer me stayed steadfast and we continued with the marriage. The following year I had my first daughter and I moved further and further away from my hopes and dreams. At the same time I relished motherhood and became the selfless woman that gives and gives, to husband, to children, to business, to everything that I touched. Except me. I was nowhere to be found. I immersed myself in my role of wife and mother to the extent of invisibility. It was as if the loss of my own maternal bond ignited in me a yearning to create my own, so as to alleviate the loss, pain and guilt I felt inside. I longed for a life of beauty, art and self-expression. This call to beauty pushed me to pack up my home in Egypt and bring my family to Canada. I had dreamed of the mountains of British Columbia and I knew I was being called there. By now I had 3 daughters. One day I gave my camera to my eldest and asked her to go and take photos of her sisters and the neighborhood kids. When I saw what she had captured, my heart stopped beating. I could see in those shots an inherent instinctual understanding of photography. In that moment, everything changed. Suddenly, I saw myself in her photos. I saw excitement and potential, possibility and beauty. I had come back to life. I nurtured the artist in her and encouraged and supported her every step of the way. And then it was my turn. It was on my birthday, September 26th, that I began to shoot again. An incredible woman asked me to take her portraits. I was terrified, but I said yes. It was a day we will never forget. The result was stunningly beautiful and the process was everything I had dreamed about. In that moment, with that woman, I had captured exactly what the 12-year-old me had known I could do, but had never believed was possible. My 3 daughters are all now pursuing passions that I once had. and through that I am once again reliving them. Bit by bit, my layers of giver, conformer, silent partner and satisfier are peeling away to reveal my true form. My love for art and beauty, social justice and my connection to the divine have re-emerged. This refinding of self can appear through cracks of light that you never knew were there. There is so much power and possibility in the place we love to be and the things we love to do. Search deeply for that place of beauty within you, even if it shakes up the very foundation you stand on. Never give up a part of yourself to anyone. The world cannot truly hear you if you are not whole. Keep growing and trying and failing and dreaming. I honor the sacred feminine line that brought me to this place, right here, right now. I'm gonna stand up, show up, and take the photo, whether you like it or not.
कहते हैं किसी के चले जाने से जिंदगी खत्म नहीं हो जाती। हाँ, खत्म तो नहीं होती और ना ही रुकती है। रुकती है तो बस एक सांस। School has just started today. This is the first week of my job. Bedrooms, toys, kitchen, and my desk are in order to get us into the routine, and rest will just have to wait for me to unpack and organize when I can. Reminding myself to do one thing at a time. Grief takes over, and I cannot seem to escape the elephant chase. Our life in the past year has been nothing but a whirlwind, as if we survived a storm, exactly like in the movie Castaway. The life away from his survival struggle moves on nicely and quietly, as if nothing is happening, whereas for him, the entire life has changed. Interesting how some beginnings could end up ending in the same place, but for different reasons. We started in Vancouver 1 year ago and ended back in BC with the life's new normal. I was alone in a new country, new city, and all alone in my struggle to move, relocating 3 times and dealing with my husband's sudden diagnosis of cancer. Hospital visits, facing difficult attitudes by some people, processing forgiveness, anger, and negative emotions, seeking counseling, art therapy, keeping up with housekeeping, taking care of our 8-year-old son, keeping things as normal as possible for him at home and school, and keeping a balance on all levels. Later, facing my husband's death, staying by his side in the last moments, breaking the news to our son, and consolidating everything after his death, and moving back to BC for my job. The journey of 3 days driving 1,400 kilometers from Alberta to BC through Canadian Rockies seems like a dream now. The route was scenic, though we encountered 3 wildfires on the way and got rerouted too, but we took it slow and easy. Allah's gift of creativity kept me going as I would sit and quietly paint and write to process my grief and difficult moment. The best words of wisdom I received was from my mother, who I give all credit for my resilience patience, and attitude of gratitude. She said, "Do not bring up the past. Do not think about the future. Take care of him. He's your guest." The wings she provided and the countless nights of staying up to pray for me, she did not let me fall or quit for a second. God never leaves us alone indeed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped me through compassionate strangers who made getting things done easier for me. Despite the endless moral support of family and friends, in the end, it was Ammi's dua and Allah's guidance that held up my soul in the most enduring times. We all go through so much in our short lives, living 100 years in 40 or so. No matter how much you're blessed with people in your life, at the end, it's you, yourself and you, your struggle, your wisdom, your actions. True patience is what you demonstrate in the moment you're hit with calamity, not later.